It's been a major tourism draw for New Mexico for decades, but it's been closed off since the COVID shutdown 3 years ago. So when will the public be allowed to see the tent rocks again? KRQE investigative reporter Gabrielle Burkhardt shows you why it could be a while.
Oh man, but look at these sights though.
Anyone who's seen them up close walks away from the KRQE tent rocks with memories and pictures of the stratified bands, remarkable images unique to this spot in New Mexico.
A lot of my work was studying volcanic eruption processes and the types of rocks that were created by those eruptions.
University of New Mexico professor Dr. Gary Smith has been studying the area since the 1980s.
We were interested in trying to do a better job of understanding a poorly known but very intense period of volcanic activity in the southern Jemez Mountains between about 6 and 7 million years ago.
A site etched out of volcanic ash near the KRQE Pueblo millions of years ago, the towering formations called hoodoos serve as a spiritual wonder to the Pueblo people and a scientific wonder to those who study it.
I was just astounded at the beauty of the hillsides, regardless of their geologic origin.
KRQE tent rocks were proclaimed a national monument in 2001 by President Bill Clinton, a preservation effort Smith contributed to. And for the last 2 decades, it's been a centerpiece for the state's tourism advertising.
For all those people at home, you definitely want to come see this. Do not take this for granted.
With images and videos showing hikers in the slot canyons.
These are the things that are in New Mexico that people can just do on a day trip.
But that hasn't been the case for the past 3 years. The National Monument was closed during the 2020 pandemic shutdowns, and it remains closed today. Why? We went digging for answers. For months, emails and phone calls requesting interviews with the state's tourism department, the Bureau of Land Management, Secretary of the Interior's office, Congresswoman Teresa Ledger Fernandez, and Senator Martin Heinrich were answered with replies like, "We will not be providing a comment or participating in this story at this time." KRQE Pueblo leaders also declined to comment. Then finally, the BLM agreed to chat.
BLM has been meeting regularly with the Pueblo. We have been in discussions about what reopening looks like.
Jamie Garcia, an outdoor recreation planner with the BLM, says they're addressing long-standing issues, including over-visitation, staffing needs, and resource protection alongside Pueblo de KRQE.
We've had such high recreation use, and we want to make sure that we are taking a step back and really looking at that big picture item there and seeing how we can move forward in a more sustainable and responsible way.
The KRQE Pueblo remains closed, citing COVID-19 restrictions, blocking road access to the National Monument, which sits on BLM land. The site's managed by the BLM in close cooperation and partnership with the Pueblo.
I suspect that the designation of the National Monument was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it provides resources and legal protections for preservation, but once someone sees a national monument on a map, it's close to Interstate 25, it's close to the Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, Santa Fe metropolitan areas, then that just becomes a magnet to draw more people.
Data published in a government-issued 2020 science plan shows visitation levels each year since the monument designation. In 2000, Tent Rocks recorded over 14,000 visitors. In 2001, that jumped to 25,000 with the presidential proclamation. Since then, visitation has increased exponentially to more than 100,000 people a year before the COVID shutdown.
But even before the pandemic, I recall seeing activity, discussions between the BLM and KRQE trying to think about how to handle the large crowds, that it was having detrimental impact on the landscape that they were joint stewards to preserve.
It's going to be $5.
Spring break 2018, News 13 reported on the massive line of cars, 90-minute wait times just to park.
In the past few weeks, they've been over capacity.
people from Australia. People are coming in from Japan. It's quite the destination now.
The pre-2020 data report states current visitation is nearly 3 times the original planned capacity, which was designed to hold about 50,000 visitors annually. So will visits to the monument move to time ticketing? Garcia says that, along with a fee increase, have been proposed.
We have not implemented anything yet, but it is something we would like to do, make sure that we can keep up with growing costs of supplies and demand.
Meanwhile, locals are still seeing advertisements for tent rocks.
Oh, I'll look forward to going back again for sure.
And still waiting.
Do you think tent rocks will open this spring? How long can they keep it closed? So everyone wants to know.
Gabrielle Burkhart, KRQE investigates.
The Bureau of Land Management says it will update plans for tent rocks on its website, but they have yet to provide a timeline on when the National Monument will reopen. Part of that depends on when the Pueblo decides to open its gates to the public once again.